You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Learn more at wearelibertarians.com.
Welcome to the Boss Hog of Liberty podcast. This is episode number 98 of East Central Indiana's favorite podcast. I'm Jeremiah Morrell, joined today by co-host Dakota Davis and Kade Koger.
All right. Today's episode features
That was so
Travis
terrible.
Weik.
Weak.
No, Weik, like Budweiser.
I've known Dakota more, not longer. What shorter time? I've
Yes, a shorter
time.
period of time.
Yeah, and he still pronounces my name 100 times better than you do.
I do it on purpose.
Because
I know you're Travis Weik.
Do you?
Quite well. Quite well. But I also love the joke of Travis Weik, Week, whatever.
Every time I say your name,
Oppenheimer, Budweiser.
I think of Budweiser first, so that I make sure I get it right.
Me too.
Yes, I'm sure you do.
Whenever I'm Dakota Budweiser
Davis.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah. They're very similar.
Yeah.
The S.
So this...
All right, this episode, we will be talking to Travis about how newspapers, because he is the editor of the Courier Times, the local newspaper in Henry County.
It's not interim, it's a real... He's really the editor now? He's all grown up?
I guess it's official.
Yeah.
I saw an article about it in the Courier Times.
You saw a column about it, but yes.
A column.
Okay.
A column.
We're going to be talking to Travis today about how newspapers can keep up with the 21st century and the rapid news cycle that we have. And we will also be talking to him about the revitalization of small downtowns across America, because we have a building downtown in Newcastle, Indiana, and Travis also has a shop in downtown Newcastle.
There are like 8 buildings in downtown Newcastle. The county courthouse, the building that Travis's day job is, his other job, and then ours. So there's like 3 other buildings downtown. That's it. I think we're like half of them.
And
the jail. The jail's there too.
can they see the look of disbelief on my face? Is the hat in the way?
All right. This show is going to be about our lives in rural Indiana. As always, we promise our episodes are going to be a fun and an easy listen.
Today's episode is brought to you once again by Montgomery's Steakhouse in Spiceland, Indiana. They have so much to offer down there. For the past 5 years, the best steak in Henry County, voted by the residents. And also, for the past 3, they have been voted to have the best barbecue ribs in the county.
I think that's in the Courier Times.
That's the Reader's Choice.
The Courier Times Reader's Choice.
We're going to have the B-hole choice.
Not only is the food absolutely spectacular, but the atmosphere, the staff, make it the best dining experience you could ask for. So much so that they were closed this week for the cold weather, and they still had a skeleton staff, so you could call in your order, and John and Paul and the guys down there were taking orders.
They're awesome.
While they were closed.
They have an amazing wedge salad.
Fantastic. I like mine with blue cheese.
Yes, me too. For the past 4 years, they have also hosted the District 6 Libertarian Party Area Convention. They will also be hosting it this year in one of their top-notch reservable rooms that they have inside the restaurant.
Great food, great times, great drinks. Go see our friends at Montgomery Steakhouse, just south of I-70, Spiceland, Indiana. Tell them that the Boss Hog of Liberty podcast sent you. All right. So, we
Travis,
have been broadcasting for about the last 35, 40 minutes to our Patreon group. Travis Weik is with us. He was the last time you were on the show, was it at poolside? Did you miss the entire Dakota Davis studio era?
Yes, he did.
And you came in. So you came in on the show where we discovered that my neighborhood was flushing into the creek, and
the
creek river.
You guys are out in the county. It's a creek.
Yeah, well, perhaps maybe for you,
perhaps.
I've got New York
Jared.
blood.
I think you forgot to thank our Patreon.
Well, we're getting there. So we're storytelling, producer Chris.
Well, we did.
You see, his name is at the bottom.
So It's an outline. Mr. Reporter over there. He's off the agenda.
The
Point of
producer.
order.
The producer. I'm just trying to
Point of
help
order.
out.
So the last time we were on, this was going somewhere.
They're moving.
The last time we were on,
Yes.
Travis showed up an hour late,
It's true.
and the show went an extra hour and a half after he
It's
showed
still
up.
the longest episode we've ever had.
So
Darren's
my
wife
goal
was so
today, I wasn't married yet.
No, not your
Darren.
Oh, Darren's wife. Oh, yeah.
Because he was trying to leave, and I didn't know that until later when I was like, "Hey, man, that was funny." He goes, "Yeah, I'm in a lot of trouble because of you."
So I know how long Travis tries to go. So I literally said when he sat down, we promised the Patreon people, if you join the Patreon group, patreon.com/BallsHogWithLiberty, you get bonus content, extra content. And I said, this is the perfect way to get them extra content. So as soon as Travis got here, he got here, I don't know, 6:45. I said, Guffey, turn the camera on, turn the mic on. We're just going to go. So that's where we were getting to before you rudely cut me off, Mr. Producer.
I will silence you.
Does he have a dump button?
He doesn't have the dump button, but he can mute me.
He's got the mute.
So we turned it on 45 minutes ago, and we let Travis start talking. So we were trying to work some of this out ahead of time because I know if we leave you in charge, we're not going to get through a quarter of this.
He's bullying you, Travis.
All you've done is like, let me get comfortable. That's all you've done. Like I'm in my element. Now.
We turned the heat off.
I'm on the third hat.
You are wearing. I didn't know this was going to be like having Madonna on, where they're going to be share. There are costume changes.
You keep dating yourself. It wouldn't be Madonna. It'd be Lady Gaga. I think at this point.
Lady Gaga.
Gaga. Yes, Lady Gaga.
Over here talking about Madonna.
You started it.
You're a material girl in a material world.
Like a virgin.
I remember Madonna when she was from Detroit and not from England. She's an American, people. Okay,
You know, Madonna would be one of the good ones for the fundraising drag show that we talked about with the Patreon members.
yeah. You're crazy.
Marilyn, how would you come up with Marilyn Monroe? I know you guys, a lot of you watching now, don't understand what's going on, and maybe one day you will. But Marilyn Monroe, really? When you had Madonna already in your wheelhouse?
Listen, Travis, he's old.
I don't know what the you're trying to come up with some sort of a cross-dressing transvestite show. I don't even know what your goal is.
Wow.
Is that what you're trying to do?
You're trying to get kicked off Facebook.
You're trying to get us deplatformed, man. That's some Alex Jones level.
Trainee Travis over there is trying to come up with.
Whoa!
Wow.
Keep going, Jared.
I'm loving it. The views are just going up. This is how Howard Stern got famous and kicked off FM.
We are going to get attacked.
We'll be on the satellite. So this is your idea for saving the county.
It's an option, yes. We could
you want to have
tax everything, and they're running out of stuff to tax.
Maybe I've listened to too much Tony Katz. I'm just picking on the media over here. So your goal, Mr. Media, is you want to bring in now there are
You want to bring
Republicans.
RuPaul to Newcastle?
Yeah.
My suggestion. I think this would be
half the council is women.
A fun fundraiser opportunity, rather than taxing Henry County residents more, which the current county council does not seem to be in favor of that idea, but they recognize that there are financial responsibilities. One option. I'm just starting the conversation.
Let's have a drag.
Is to have a drag show.
We'll have a drag show to pay for the jail.
The jail, health insurance, that's a big thing right now. Roads, because everybody, I know how much you guys love the roads, right? But various other things. I mean, you could have, and you can not just limited to the Henry County, the city could do it, the various towns, the trustees, the schools. Like, just have a drag show, charge admission for it, and then and it could be the administrators of that government.
So this is what we talked a little bit about
downtown after it's all revitalized.
It's not going to be a park. It's not part of the parks department.
The plaza.
The plaza. Yeah, it's a parking lot.
Okay.
But
so
it's not going to be managed by the. It's not going to be managed by the
this
parks department. It's
is
the city department.
the
It's the
part,
pit.
part where we do have to thank Christopher Bilbrey, who
Yes.
joined us. $75 a month. He joined the Patreon, and
Okay.
he'll be
we
joining
didn't
us.
ask. We didn't ask for his consent to announce how much he's giving.
It's public information. It's public information because at that
Did
level,
the Courier Times write about it?
at that
yet.
level, you get to be a co-host. For an
No, you get to
episode.
be a
a
featured
featured guest. It's all the same.
His memory's slipping.
How many of them? Old. How many of them Guinnesses are you on?
I'm halfway through my first one.
You might slow down.
Sarah, it's time to talk about assisted living.
Can you get a vest for Riley and then it'd be your support animal?
You want me to go all George Bush?
That was sad.
He's-
With his,
Yeah,
with his,
come on.
With his yellow lab.
No, I know, but he's not with us anymore.
It's a part of life, man. It's going to happen to everybody.
Except for me.
You adopt a dog, and then you die. All right. So thank you, Chris Bilbrey. He's the newest Patreon member. Brant Spicer, Christy Avery, John Phillips, and Craig DaCosta. You are all heroes to this show. Amazon wish list, once again, it's been purchased out again completely. If you're watching on the Facebook page, there are some beautiful new amber lights. The studio looks better every day, every week, every show. Beautiful audio now. The next thing we're talking about needing in this studio is a very minor detail to everybody, but it's going to give you an improvement. It's going to be some shielded mic cables because apparently the little hissing and popping and cracking that we have.
Well, everybody, stop talking. All right. If you just heard all that white noise, that's what we're trying to mitigate.
That's what we're going to solve.
That's called tinnitus. That's 10% disability right there from the Army. Like, I get that all the time. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Guffey, do you want to hit like beep, like with these headphones on? Do you want to just beep? See the vets
hearing
know.
test.
The hearing beep, beep. I've had them like walk in and be like, there was nothing. Like you've been just pushing the button for. Are you sure?
I've taken that test too. I know. I've had to go through some very crazy physicals to sell rebar. All right, so Travis was here.
It's a very comparable thing.
Can that go on the next show? Can he delve into that? I feel like you could get a solid like 12 minutes of content just about
hearing tests.
just about the physical exams you went on before they allowed you to sell rebar.
I was 18 years old, and they gave me a 4-hour physical, Travis. I don't know. I think they were just playing games.
You might be in the Army at
Yeah.
this point. That sounds like mess.
It was crazy.
Did you have to squat and walk like a duck?
Like a duck. Hold on you got to hold on to your earlobes and squat and walk like a duck, while a doctor who's way too old to still be practicing just watches you and goes, "I don't know what I'm looking for."
That looks good, boys.
I guess
that one's going to San Antonio.
I guess you can drive a Humvee. So like everything else in Newcastle, Travis has like 14 jobs. You were in the time I've known you. We've been friends, I don't know, close to a decade now. Probably 2010, 2009, 2008, somewhere in there. Been running around for a while. It's
the
been
Henry
a while.
County Libertarian Party was founded in 2009.
Well, then it would have been.
There you go. So it's like
2009.
10 years we've been hanging out. Yeah. And at the time, you've had like 6 careers. I proctored one of your tests one time. I was like, you took a test, and
Yeah.
I mean, we've got
Was
around
it
a
the
long time.
Libertarian Purity Test?
He told me he was my proctor, and I was like, "That's not how they did it when I was in Iraq." But okay.
So you were you've been an ambulance driver.
Yes.
For a minute,
An
an
EMT,
EMT, whatever.
an EMT.
Front of the bus, back of the bus, whatever.
Yeah, but they're different.
You were an actor in a movie at my house.
Yes, I was.
You were the reason for that actually coming to my house. You're like I bought my house, and then that Labor Day, you're like, oh, Jeremiah has a house. We can totally sign him up to be a set for this movie.
That's why you're on IMDb.
That's true. My favorite part of that is your dad standing out there with like his
With a cup of coffee.
and just a cup of coffee, just
Being an extra. And you liked it so much that you signed up to work for Newcastle EMS at that time.
Henry
Right
County,
after that.
Henry
Henry
County.
County. Oh, it's all the same,
No,
right?
it's not.
Different.
It's different.
The same but different.
City is 911. and county is more transport.
And then a little while after that, you went to work for the Courier Times as the education reporter. Yes. That lasted about 3 days, and then you were writing other stories.
Well, I'm the education guy, yeah.
It was a very narrow scope. You were
You're the
like, I'm
everything
only
guy
going to
now.
write education stories, and you were driving out to Hagerstown and other places to cover school board meetings.
Mm-hmm.
And now, I don't know, how long have you been with the paper? 3 years, 4 years? Time flies.
It's 4 years. Yeah, I got in November of 14. It was right after the 2014 election. And I remember the timing because one of my first stories was when Rick McCorkle, like his second day as sheriff.
Okay.
I went to jail, and it got a really good story out of it. But
Nice.
it was his like second day of him being sheriff. So that's how I remember.
All right. So you're just celebrated your 4-year anniversary, and you got a big new title, big promotion.
Yes.
Back, I guess, December.
It was not New Year's, Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve. So Christmas Eve, Guffey got his butt kicked by Kade, and you became the new editor of the. Is it the Henry County Courier Times, the Newcastle Courier Times? What do you guys call yourselves?
It's the Courier Times.
The Courier Times. You're not geographic. You are
World
just
News.
the Courier Times.
Let's give Travis a round of applause.
Can I share that round of applause with Kade?
For kicking
Watch me
Chris's
mute you.
butt.
Watch me mute you.
So, how is it? How's being the editor? Do you like
Being
it?
in charge.
Do you hate it?
You just get to smoke cigars and tell Daryl Radford where to go, basically. That's
and
the
get
way
to
I
t-
picture
and
it.
get to tell Spider-Man to
You can't
frig
smoke
off.
in the building anymore.
There's no smiling?
Really? You
Smoking.
Oh, smirking. Smoking.
can't? His hearing's going too.
Oh my God! Can you turn him? You can't smoke cigars. There's no, but there is.
Why not?
There
Why?
are.
You're the editor.
Haven't you like there's a law like you can't smoke within
As long as
but
you,
what are they gonna
as
do,
long
arrest
as
you?
you have to be 21 to go. Just make the age restriction 21 to be able to enter, and you're in the green. Like you're good to go then.
the walls are. You can tell where they used to.
The ceiling
smoke in
tiles
there
are
'cause
yellow.
Everything. Like, yeah, I was like,
Back
wow.
when newsmen were newsmen.
In the recent
and rampant alcoholics.
in the recent media, though, smirking is also unacceptable.
I know.
You're not allowed to.
That's
smirk.
That's what I
No
thought. Is
smirking
they,
within 8 feet of a building in Henry County.
It's a
something
face
like that.
crime.
Yeah. You gotta watch that.
So you've been running the fake news empire of Henry County now for just about a month.
No, this is my first time on the show for a while.
Oh, that was good. That was a good comeback.
That's why we break the stories and you follow.
So we were before Chase Payton flaked out because he was going to owe me $5 for the government being reopened.
Right.
He was asking, what is the Courier Times? Chase is 23 years old. And we explained to him that it's where you guys reprint the internet a couple days after it happened. Is that the way you explained it to your kids?
No, I just ask my kids if they want to know what's going on in the community they live in, and when they say yes, I said read the newspaper.
Are you sure you don't direct them to Boss Hog of Liberty?
Yes. Yeah, because we're a daily. You guys are weekly.
Well, I mean, you're most dailies.
Oh, you're correct. 5 out of
Used to-
7.
I mean-
and Wednesday with the bitter cold, we did not deliver Wednesday's paper. It got delivered today. With Thursdays.
But we are media rivals now, right? Do you hate me, Travis?
No. No, we're
Frenemies? Are you frenemies?
no because it's just different media.
Different mediums. Yes, we get
It
the
wouldn't be mediums.
We
It
get
would
the
be
news
media-
out through a different medium.
Through a singular different medium, yes, but
Yes.
we're not different mediums. Those are, I think, people who are psychics are mediums. But
You're not a
media
medium?
Are multiple medium.
So we are different mediums because
No,
I'm a medium and you're not.
you're a
Very
medium.
different mediums.
And
You
I-
only see the
no,
orbs in
I
the
am.
pictures at the Guy Opera House.
We both are mediums.
Well,
we are various.
You're more of a
different
medium,
types
Travis.
of-
You wear them
Yes.
pretty tight.
I try to go medium as often as I can.
Well-
I actually wash this on hot, trying to shrink it. I'm not happy with it.
It's-
It's a
that
Goodwill.
does look like
It's
it's
tough
from
being
the.
our size, Travis, because some brands you don't know if you need a medium or if you need a large that needs to be shrunk a little bit.
Travis is wearing a 1/4 or a 3/4, depending upon if you're a glass half full or half empty guy.
It's a quarter zip.
It's a quarter zip. It looks like it's from the UPS Dale Jarrett collection.
It does.
Who is a legend, by the way?
There are only 3 things uglier than Dale Jarrett's car.
And they are.
Tony
He's
Siragusa
my all-time
dancing
favorite
naked in a
NASCAR
leather
driver.
bar. I don't know the other lines. I don't know. I'm doing pretty good to remember that much.
Yeah, no, that's good. But no,
There's
this is
only-
Goodwill. I got all of my sweaters are from Goodwill. I have so many, like such a plethora, a sweater plethora. But it's all Goodwill. All the elastic is worn out. I usually go up to the elbows so you can't tell, but it is really cold out.
Well, man, Goodwill, good cause. That's
No, I love it.
No, it's-
I love it, and it's also for the
what you're
frugal
doing on
shopper.
last week's episode there, Jer.
I don't know. I'm trying to. I'm trying to read the comments, and then I looked over and I realized that the guest changed on the laptop. Chase is here. Where did he get here? The video changed.
Can I interact with that video? Can I I should pull it up and just start pantomiming.
Yes, you should start to put your hands in other places. All right. So you're enjoying the running the newspaper.
It is very busy. There's a lot to it, and yeah, I thoroughly enjoy it. And
So slowly over time, you picked up other, like you would cover other government meetings. You were covering the council meetings.
yes,
And previously, Katie, the previous Katie Klontz was the editor, and she would cover the crime beat. And
yes. When Katie has she's a legacy at the Courier Times. She actually started that. Her mom worked there, and so Katie would come to the newspaper when she was like 9 or 10, and then started writing for them. Had another career, came back as the crime reporter, and then when she became the editor, she carried the crime beat with her. So her whole time as editor of the newspaper for, I think, the last 3 years. I think so.
okay,
And she was covered the crime beat as well.
right. So now, who's in charge of crime now? Is anybody
Me.
fighting crime?
Well, I'm in
From the
charge
paper?
of telling people about people who are fighting crime.
Because
Like, I still pick that up.
I mean, there are some superheroes that used to work in the newspaper industry that would fight the crime.
Yeah,
too.
what kind of shirt you got on under that sweatshirt?
It's a
there?
red one.
Okay.
I mean, I can't give you too much more than that. I can't.
So, talk to me about Saved Games Library.
So this is the other job. You started a business.
Yeah, because
And-
I'm not smart.
And this
I
is-
don't manage my time well.
I don't want to say that we made you who you are over there, but after we had you on the show and we promoted the hell out of Saved Games, all the Pokemon players that I was hanging out with started going over there. And that was like the spark that really made you guys.
It was absolutely the Pokemon. That's how I met producer Chris Guffey.
Yep.
E-Hall
Yes.
producer Chris Guffey. Is that on your resume now?
It's going to be once I update it.
Oh, there you go.
He hasn't updated his resume in a month, so
Yeah, so my shop,
Yeah, only a month.
my game shop,
it's on the regular.
it's I've got a library of between 400 and 500 games. I'd hit 500, but I've donated some of those to various organizations.
Wow.
But
500 games?
oh yeah, it's magnificent.
I didn't even know there were 500 games that existed in the world.
Oh, there's
He's got like 4 kinds of Monopoly.
There is probably a board game about doing a radio show, and if there's not, there will be. Like, I mean, there's a firefighting board game. There's Horseopoly. I do have that one. I'm still trying to get the 4-H kids to come in and play that.
Deck building.
I've got. There's a genre of games called deck building where you just build a deck of cards, but this game is deck building, the deck building game, in which your deck of cards is used to build a back porch deck, and it's magnificent.
It is.
It's so good.
It seems so weird.
I have a cardboard version.
Just go build a deck.
Yeah.
Like,
Galactica.
Galactica. Thank you. It's called Flip Ships, and it is with cardboard on your table. You're playing Galactica.
Now, it's been a while. Do you have? I used to have to bring it in myself, and I felt bad for bringing in games because the policy over there is if you brought your own game, it was free.
Yes.
and I would
Still
bring
is.
in Secret Hitler.
Oh,
Yeah, Secret
And Guffey and I and a number of others, we would get together and we would tie up your place and have a whole table full of people playing the game we brought in.
That's fantastic. And now, I mean, that happens a lot,
you-
less with Secret Hitler.
Do you guys have Secret Hitler, or do I have to bring it with me?
I don't have it yet, but we do take donations.
Well, it's a very expensive game.
I know.
It is a very expensive
This
game.
is why I have the game library, because these games are $50, $60, $70 retail, which limits some people from being like that face. A lot of people see they get that sticker shock, and it's like getting a really good Hallmark card, and you're reading, and you're like, oh, this is beautiful. I'm going to give this to my mom. Not for $12, I'm not. And you put it back,
Right.
and then you just get her a piece of, cardboard.
Just make one because you're crafty.
Yeah, and then she goes, oh, that's sweet. And like, yeah, and it didn't cost $12. But
They like them more if you make them too.
yeah,
But if somebody brings in a $60 game and then your people get to play it, they get other paying customers get the benefit of enjoying that game while it's there.
they get to experience the game. So yeah, like I've got some games that have hefty price tags to them if I was retailing them. But
Was that how you came up with this idea of having the saved games library? Was it just you love board games, they're expensive, so you wanted other people to be able to enjoy them without having to pay for all of it?
Right. Yeah, I want people to be able to sit down and do this interact face to face versus and I don't put down,
I mean, you
I
can
don't put
play
down-
solitaire with friends on your phone.
Right.
And also you can play
and you can
words with friends.
You can play Words with Friends. You can play Cards Against Humanity. You can play that on an app with people, which is fine. But you can also sit down together and play.
Yeah, but it's
And I
just
don't-
not the same as what
I
you're
don't.
saying.
Well, yeah, and I don't put down like video games. I'm a huge video game nerd, but there's a intrinsically different experience.
Really,
having
what's their favorite song?
What?
a huge video game nerd?
Yeah.
So what's their favorite song?
Yeah.
It's
If you're such a fan.
Obviously, it's the Mario theme song.
Yes.
Oh,
I know. I know the song very well. I heard it Friday night about 3,000 times at hockey night with Guffey.
Oh, God, yes.
Dun.
It was terrible.
All right. I want to talk about the newspaper.
Okay.
We're 30 minutes into this. It's time to actually get into what we were going to be talking about.
26:30.
I thought we were almost done. I thought it was almost over.
Hat change time.
Hat change. Break.
He's wearing his reporter hat.
Mr. Reporter, did you bring any newspapers with you?
No, I should have.
Did you bring today's news?
That's a shame because I only subscribe to the e-edition.
That's okay.
I'm also
It's only
e-edition subscriber.
$9.99 a month. It's fantastic. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You
Okay,
guys
well,
actually
that's-
got the paper on Wednesday morning at 6 a.m. when it posted online, and Thursday's paper. So,
Well, that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about is so many people think that newspapers are dying. And the Knightstown Banner just shut their doors, which is
yeah, that's really upsetting. Like that is, and I'm not being
Truly.
cynical or sarcastic. Like first off, Eric Cox busts his butt, and they kept that thing going for 20 years after it had closed the first time they reopened it, and he and his wife did. And when we found out that they went out, it was very somber morning.
So one of the big things I wanted to talk about is
So
what
we're
you
down
guys
to
are.
two newspapers in the county now: the Middletown News
Right.
and the Courier Times.
Right. Middletown News is a weekly, and then we're a daily, like 5 days a week, Tuesday through Friday and Sunday.
So the two papers obviously want to stay alive, right? So what are you doing to make sure that happens? To keep people clicking and to keep people buying newspapers? What is the strategy?
Well, the strategy, I guess, to stay relevant in today's online life is, we just keep giving personal stories. We keep make the paper relevant by showing up, reporting, covering it, putting stuff out there so people can look at. There's a fantastic saying that the newspaper is the first rough draft of history, because they're going to go back and look at it, and that's one of the reasons that we don't want to screw up. If
You are the record at this point, right? So they're going to go back and look at the microfilm 30 years from now to figure out what was going on.
right, and that's why we want it to be accurate. When we screw up, we put something on there. That's awful. We don't want to mess up. We want to put what we put want that to be
for a paper like you guys that operates you're in a small city in the Midwest in a small county in Indiana.
Average county. Warren County is much smaller. There are some small counties.
We have some. Okay. We have some. Now, geographically, we're not the smallest, but also our population isn't too
we
bad.
got 50,000 people here.
Right. Yeah, we have about. And the census is coming up next year. Now's a good time to start moving in your families.
I found a wife from Morgan County and drug her back here. I mean, I did my part.
Yeah,
but being a paper like that,
Kade went out of county and brought a woman home. We're doing all we can.
Are you
really.
guys? So you guys doing like the Seven Brothers, Seven Brides sort of thing?
Yeah.
Where you just go to town, club some women, kidnap them, bring them home into the mountains.
You're here now.
Yeah,
I went to the city and told her, well, if you like me, you have to follow me back to Newcastle, and she did.
So she hadn't been to Newcastle before then.
No, she
didn't realize
never
what
been
she
to
was
Newcastle.
agreeing to.
No,
Where's Audrey from?
Spiceland.
And now there we go.
And now Dakota.
Spiceland encroached on our territory up to like they took the Newcastle Motorsports Park.
Listen,
and
Newcastle and Spiceland do seem to be having some sort of a war. I don't know what Darren Jacobs has against the city of Newcastle, but he does seem to be doing this big land grab, moving further and further north.
Spiceland is it's what
socialists
largest,
do.
It's the second largest geographical city incorporated town in
part of
County.
Part of Darren's personal beliefs as a socialist is not believing in private property rights.
A chicken in every house that's not in Spiceland.
Yes.
Something like that.
What's yours is his.
But
for the good of all.
But what I wanted to say is part of staying relevant, reporting on the things that happen locally, because there is no one else other than us that does that.
No, absolutely. There's we had someone call. I like to use this example. We had someone call the day after President Trump was elected, 2016, and she was upset that the front page of the Courier Times did not say Trump wins. Like Dewey wins was the fantastic picture, and it didn't say in giant font.
You were probably reporting on the county commissioner's race,
right? And she's like, "Why didn't you put that Donald Trump won?" And our response was, "You already know that Donald Trump is the president of the United States of America. You don't need to read that in the Courier Times because you've read it everywhere else." But my question is, who is your city council representative? Who's your trustee? Because all of that.
That's the news.
That was in the Courier Times.
That's the news that makes you unique.
That's the news that matters to people's lives. When President Trump talks about fake news, he's generally talking about the 24-hour infotainment that we have, the talking heads that go,
the clickbait.
Okay, so we all know that we knew that it was going to be cold on Wednesday. We all knew that it was going to freeze. It was going to be dangerous. We should have had face socks on. Right? Mm-hmm. But we didn't talk about it for 24 hours. And there are some news stations that had to do that because they had to keep people coming back. We have the election. We have, Snowpocalypse 2019.
I mean, if we had the budget, I would have no problem with sending Guffey to Memorial Park and making him stand outside and do a remote by the Doughboy, telling us how cold it was. But maybe have you lick the Doughboy, just like a little...
Guard it from cars.
Hey, at least I could get there, and I would guard it from cars.
But
I'd stand post.
Even the Weather Channel.
Would you take a car for the Doughboy?
Right now, I will take a car for the Doughboy. Right now.
Would you? Wait, I like it. I'm sorry. I know we're interviewing you, but
I want to hear this.
I want a loyalty pledge. Would you take a car for the show?
I sure would.
See, that's why I love him.
What a disheveled episode this has been.
This is what we expected. Last week, Rob Kendall was so impressed. Rob is the producer for the Chicks on the Right podcast.
Travis is holding it together. You're the one that's going off the tracks, man.
I'm trying to explain to him. Rob Kendall of WIBC wanted to steal Chris Guffey away from us.
This is why I'm not drinking, by the way.
You blame it on the alcohol. I'm just excited to see it.
Blame it on the excited to say. I was going to go alcohol. You can't take excited to see you.
You tried.
Can I? If I do this, will the new lights pick up the Instagram heart?
I don't think that worked out.
No.
if I move?
No,
We're mostly a podcast, so
kinda.
Travis is gesturing.
Did it work?
kind of.
Okay. For the visually impaired.
So you guys, you focus on the local elections, the local news.
Here, I have another example.
Yes.
During 4-H fair, I think it was also 2016. Anyways, Mike Pence came through, so it may have been 2015. He was still governor at the time. Came through, had his blue button up.
2015, yes.
Rolled up sleeves, had an entourage with him, and I'm heading out to Henry County 4-H fair to cover the goat show, because that's what you do when the 4-H fair is in town. You go cover the fair and the kids and the new 4-Hers and the 10-year 4-Hers and the ambassadors, and all this stuff because you're a 4-H kid.
Absolutely.
And it's really important to the people who live here and who dedicate the moms, the dads, the grandparents, the leaders. It's important to these kids who are part of our community.
It's a fixture of our community.
Right. So I'm heading out there, and my phone rings, and I pulled over safely before answering it because driving distracted is...
Because at that time you were driving a pickup truck that you could not possibly... You didn't have a Bluetooth.
Yeah. But they're like, hey, Pence is on his way, and he's going to be at the fair. Okay. So I'm like, okay, I'll make sure I get a picture of Pence. And I walk in, and the kids with the goats are in Frank Schuler's show arena, and they're doing their thing. And I saw out by a giant tractor, the entourage doing it. And as I walked by, I believe it was that year's one of the ambassadors, named Kade, was sitting up on the bleachers looking quite forlorn and also a little ticked off. And I walked up and I said, hey, Kade. And she looks at me and goes, he went that way. And I said, yeah, but all the kids with goats are right there. And I stood there and I took pictures of the kids with goats and I got their names and I put them in the paper.
And that was the story.
And I turned around and the 4-H fair ambassador was like, oh my God, you care about these kids. And I said, yeah, because they live here. Pence was here for a photo op and to froth up some votes and whatever. And I went out and I got a picture of him, but the picture I got of him later was not him standing in front of the giant tractor with I'm a blue collar boy from Columbus. He's never been on a tractor except to take a photo op. And he had the kids, and that's not the picture that I took. I took a picture of him talking to the 4-H. The picture was not Mike Pence talking to the 4-H ambassadors. The picture was Henry County 4-H ambassadors talking to the governor.
Right.
That's what it was. He wasn't the focus of it because he doesn't live here. And even if, what he does from Indianapolis is a small part of what affects us here in Henry County. What affects us is Henry County Council, Henry County Commissioners, the town councils, the Board of Works, everybody who was mad that 14th Street was closed for 18 years isn't calling Washington, D.C., and Washington, D.C. doesn't give a damn about 14th Street being closed. The people who care about it are in City Hall, and they're the ones that got it reopened. They're the ones
they also closed it.
They're the ones that closed it. The Board of Works closed it, and the City Council, they're the ones that the residents of Newcastle said, hey, fix this, and they're the ones that every City Council meeting yelled at the mayor and eventually got it open. Now, he had to close it again because the work wasn't done, which was the whole point of it being closed in the first place. But the mayor was also out there pouring concrete and painting lines on the road. I mean, they got it. They not only got it open, they got the sidewalk poured. They're moving along with 1400.
And whenever news like this happens, whenever news from around the county happens, if you guys don't want to wait until the next day to write something about it, or maybe you are going to write a story about it and it's going to be in the next day's paper, then you'll sometimes write a post on Facebook about it, right? So you'll make a long post. You just found our $100 bill.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Well, no, I know what
It's yours to have.
No, I know what they are.
Are you?
Yeah.
Are you?
But I just wanted you guys to. I was trying to get my name up on the wall.
Are you taking?
Giving you your own money back so I could.
This
get up
feels
on the
like corruption and collusion. What are you paying us off for?
I'm giving you
says
your own money
taxation
that
is
was-
theft on the inside,
No,
in case
yeah.
anybody's wondering.
Yeah, it's not a real $100 bill. If it was, though, I wanted them to have their money. I was like, why is it tucked under the carpet?
But you can.
I thought it was a 5. I actually thought that it was. I thought
Chase.
I thought Chase's 5 was under here. I was like, what is this? Oh, that's 100. Dakota probably wants that, and then I give it back to you, and I get accused of.
bribery. But you can
put it back.
you
I'll
can
put it
write
back.
about that.
Leftover from Kickback Kendall.
You can write about that on Facebook.
Yeah. So go ahead.
And whenever you write these things on Facebook and you'll post breaking stories or something on there, is there? I mean, there's only so many of you at the Courier Times, right?
Right.
How can you keep up with citizens of Henry County and Henry County scanners, or is it the fact that you guys are credible?
Or
More
do you-
credible than just rumor pages?
Or do you just print what the
Well-
commissioners and the council tell you to print? Is that the way it goes? They just tell you what to do and you do it?
No,
payroll?
absolutely not.
I'm taking the heel role tonight. I'm just gonna. I'm gonna be all accusatory unless you defend yourself.
Well, no. I'll answer those in two separate parts. The citizens of Henry County and Henry County scanners. We were actually talking about Wikipedia earlier as a crowdsourced information, and that's what those guys generally are. They have people that come on there. They've got their police scanners going. And they say, "Hey, this is going on. This is going on. Hey, what's this? Where can I get this information?" And they go to those sites, those pages, and they're admin. And they're
strictly?
yeah, and they've got. I'm trying to Terry. I know Terry's one of the admins. I can't remember.
Terry
his name.
Henry County?
Troxel,
Yeah.
Troxel, yeah.
Carol Davis, Kevin Barnes.
Kevin Barnes,
Yeah.
Era
And-
Barnes, I think.
And so they have their rules and they have what they're going to put on there. I mean, as the Courier Times, we have our rules. If you write a letter to the editor, it has to meet whatever stipulation.
I'd never had one
If we
turned down, by
complain
the way.
enough, can we change your rules?
What's that?
Because there was a war
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, we complained enough to citizens of Henry County and got memes and gifts allowed.
That's fantastic.
That was us.
Yeah.
That was Boss Hog of Liberty.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
We're really
Regime
fighting
change.
for freedom over here.
We really freed up that page. For sure.
Well, and so to answer that question, you can't get animated GIFs published in the Courier Times newspaper.
There's
Can
not
we
enough.
get me?
There's
We're
not
not
enough
You
pages.
guys have a Facebook.
I mean,
Not
if,
even in
if
the
you had
e-edition?
enough, if you had enough pages, you could. You only got like 3 pages left in the paper. But back in the day of like a 10 or 12 page paper, you could have printed like a different image in the bottom right corner of each one, and then you flip through it, and you would
It's
have
actually-
you would have had the moving picture.
Well,
Yeah.
newsprint isn't. It's not firm enough, I think, to do a flip book. And you really,
You're probably right.
you're like- and if you're looking at to
That was
show
a bad
motion-
idea, Jeremiah.
Yeah,
if you
need
put
to
it in
have
front
at
of a
least-
strong enough fan,
Yeah, but you
it
need
would
to have
work. It
like
would
even
blow.
even if you took something like the New York Times or something.
LA
like
Times. I've seen that one. That one's
stacked.
thick.
But even then, the pages themselves are too loose. I mean, we're going into
we
to
can't pay
animation.
premium paper.
Well, you're talking like what are you talking? I mean, we're not doing like Onion Leaf like a Bible, but it's still pretty.
The Onion
thin.
is pretty good.
But you also can't flip the Onion because it's digital.
I know, but they
They can just
point.
put GIFs on.
I
the
would
Onion.
pay money to the Onion.
Wow.
To
I
be
would-
fair, I was talking Onion pages.
I know, but
Okay.
I mean, I'm just saying. Like my dream job, I think, is
The
either work for
layers,
the Onion or the
right?
Babylon Bee.
You were talking about the layers.
Those guys
of
are on
of an
point.
onion.
No,
Were
Onion
you talking
pages
about
like,
a physical onion or the
like
the
in
news,
a Bible,
the
like in an
satire
old
news?
school Onion page? Kate,
Oh,
you're,
okay.
you're
Yeah, I know what you're
fairly
talking about.
you're salt of the earth. You've read a Bible.
Yeah, wrong Terry Troxel,
yeah.
man.
So Chris Bilbrey is watching the chat, and he because he's a Patreon member, he knows what's coming, and that we're going to talk about Dakota's favorite section of the paper.
Sorry.
So Terry Troxel is the Delaware County food inspector, and so
Which I
We
wanted
have-
to.
Hold on, there are two Terry Troxels.
there's another Terry
There are
Troxel.
two Terry Troxels in Henry County. There's Terry Troxel, who is an admin for
Citizens of Henry County.
Citizens of Henry County. His son is also. I'm going to give him a shout out. His son Tony is also geeking in Indiana geeking. I really hope I'm getting that right. And he does a fantastic.
First class nerd.
Yeah, he does a fantastic blog and stuff
Well,
about.
apparently Terry G. Troxel.
Well, I don't know Terry G.
He is the food inspector for Delaware County.
Yeah,
Well,
so
which
we read about that all the time. In the
food
Muncie.
inspection days.
Yes,
It
Henry
is one of
County
my
has
favorite
a
days.
Terry Troxel food inspector.
What?
Yes, and So
Is it the same one?
I don't.
Do they share a guy? Do we share a food inspector with Delaware
Terry
County?
Troxel.
How can he keep up? There's so many restaurants.
Terry Troxel and
There's so many
the
Terry
Henry
Troxels.
County- there are two. There are two in Henry County. But the one who
This
does
is
that,
Terry
It's all very
Troxel.
complicated.
Is that
I believe
is that the food
one,
inspector?
I believe that one may be the food inspector. I've only seen
about?
him in real life. I haven't seen a still of him.
He's got his
before.
profile locked down tighter than
We
Fort
are
Knox. I can't see
We
where
are
it works.
very, very, very
he does,
in the weeds now, and it's all Dakota's fault.
But he does that,
Just for the record, since
that
I got
Terry
thrown under the
Troxel.
bus about 3 minutes ago, I will make it known that Dakota caused this.
But that
Yes.
food inspector Terry Troxel is part time for Henry County Health Department, and he's of the evenings.
But the
So-
food
so-
inspection,
same
the
guy.
food
So your food
inspection
only gets
reports-
inspected in the evenings?
No, just by that Terry Troxel. Yes, I do want to draw the differentiation so people
Oh.
aren't going on Citizens of Henry County and attacking the wrong. Because I've actually reached out to Henry County Citizens of Henry County Terry Troxel.
Yes.
I'm like, hey, got a question? Blah blah blah. He's like, yeah, different Terry Troxel. I'm like, how are there different ones? That's a pretty, I thought, unique name.
Yeah, I thought Troxel was.
If you Google or Facebook Travis Weik, you're probably just going to get me.
you're just There's
There's
only one. There's only one of you.
There
There's
are
so
two
many of
Dakota
me
Davises
that
in
Boss Hog
Newcastle.
Liberty can't even tag me. I can't tag myself on my own page
half
man.
the time. Yeah,
There's too many of us.
the
Get
one that
other
works at
Dakota on
Wendy's.
here. Get the other Dakota on here and be like, this is Dakota Davis with
Okay.
co-host Dakota Davis.
He
He doesn't
added
even
me.
have to pay $75 to become a special guest. He could just be here because he's already here.
I want to talk about food inspection
Okay.
reports though. That
I love the restaurant reports.
so
It's-
the Terry Troxel thing really tied us in well.
I like it. It's almost like you planned it.
So food inspection reports, one of my favorite days for the local newspaper because I love seeing my favorite restaurants' dirty laundry. Literally, sometimes.
I'll tell you what.
It's public,
I can't tell you how many times that the refried beans at the La Hacienda on the south side of Muncie have been too cold or the wrong temperature. It's on the regular.
Is that
Well, we
is that
don't-
part of the food inspection?
Not
Yeah.
for the
Or
Courier
they just
Times.
left him out too long.
We don't
Well,
have a
I'm
hospital.
saying-
come on,
I'm
dude.
saying it's a Terry
This is Henry
Troxel report.
County, man.
Right.
Leave Delaware County out of this. We don't want their dirty laundry. We want people
if
like
I have a choice, if two stories show up, if two stories show up to the paper and they're submitted and they're about a Delaware County or a Muncie incident versus a Middletown, a Strawn,
You're going to take Strawn
I'm
all
gonna,
day long.
I'm going to do that because it's Henry County.
Right.
But if I get something from Fort Wayne, Muncie's going to get it's tiered locally,
Of course.
and then
you
the
have a
local-
hierarchy
Yeah.
of locations.
Yeah, I don't care about what's happening in other states. I don't want to give space in our paper to that. Sometimes we get all of our content in, and then there's space, and the layout people go, okay, we're going to take AP Wire or something like that, Associated Press stories, or
Those aren't just days where you decide you're not going to work as hard.
no, we bust our butts.
So
Bust.
have you ever gotten
Anyhow.
something so bad in a food inspection report that you thought, I don't even know if I should print this?
No, never.
Really?
No. If I'm gonna it's going.
I feel
in.
like we're on the same page of that because
No, it's
if I
going
got
in.
something that bad and people were like, I don't know if you should print this, I'd be like, oh,
Oh, it has to go in.
it's going on the front page this time, buddy.
Yeah, well, and the thing with the food inspection, the retail, it's retail food inspection because it's not just restaurants; it's also places that sell food.
Right? Yeah. We're talking about semantics here.
Yeah,
let's
but-
get into the meat.
Right, but unless the meat
Or the
is
salad bar.
in the appropriate, if because there are those places that you go as someone who lives in Newcastle, lives in Henry County, and eats food around here. Sometimes
I don't typically eat.
take your lady out for a night, and if you went to one of these establishments and then found out that 10 days later that they had an issue, you'd want to know. If you had a little a GI problem, you went home, had a little bit. Ooh, that was a little much. What? Maybe I had the flu. Maybe you had food poisoning because XYZ, and that lets you know. But they always do those food inspection reports.
I
And
like seeing my favorite restaurants and seeing that they were clean and
Oh, yeah.
being like, proud of you, Cafe
I've even got
Royale.
a few restaurants that sometimes they get mentioned, and I'm like, Nah, I've never been sick. I'll be all right.
Yeah, it'll be okay.
Sake, by Taco Bell. Love that place. I've never been sick.
They were in there several times when they first opened because the sushi rice was not at the appropriate. And I'm not even going to air quote. It's not at the appropriate temperature, but it's sushi rice.
It's
not
rice.
No, so it's not
real
supposed to
rice.
be. So they had to get a variance, and for whatever reason, they just kept not having that. And so every couple months they were in there, and it's not.
And they were like,
So
I don't care,
because-
man. Put me in there. We're making our sushi right.
So just because they're in there, there are a lot of places that show up a lot of times. There's some places that don't show up, and sometimes I'll get the reports and I'll go, "Oh, that place went out of business." Oh, okay, and it'll say that. It'll say, not that L&K would, but it's just the one. And it'll be like L&K. We went to do it and out of business, and it's just like circled, like out of business. And I'm like, oh, all right, let's update
So
the directory.
one last thing about newspapers, really quick.
You guys do have amazing apple donuts.
Yeah,
they do. The
And
blueberry-
berry donuts.
and meat. We're still selling meat right now. Also, so don't forget.
all winter, right?
Yep.
I will say this.
You could just
So,
set it outside. You don't even have to pack the freezer.
at my actual job, besides this, the Kogers come in, and we fix one of their things, and his dad, Kent, completely brought us in dozens of donuts. We're like, all right, we good.
That's
it's
because
free today.
Kid's a good dude, happily married to a cattle wrangler.
Straight cattle baron.
And I know.
I think cattle baron has a negative connotation to it.
I know
Baroness.
earlier we said Montgomery's
a
is
little
a
bit.
place to get the best steak, but that's the best cooked steak. Right. If you're going to buy steak, you buy it from me.
Tartar.
I guarantee it is the best steak you can buy.
Are they
One last
you
thing.
cook
grass fed?
Grass fed, grain finished. That's what we like to say.
Every
Yeah.
steak,
Massage 'em.
every
Yeah.
Koger steak comes with a
I really
story,
do. Follow me on Snapchat.
a
You'll
name.
see.
Yeah.
Can I get one of those
Massaging a cow.
calves?
I take great care of my cattle.
Can I get one of those calves straight out of the mother?
They're very happy.
That's
no,
veal. That's
we don't do any of that.
baby cows.
We let them get to 1,300 pounds before we kill them.
Because there's more meat to sell at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
You sell veal. You gotta push a lot of baby cows.
I mean, he'll sell you one, but it's going to be at a price. It's not.
That's right.
You don't pay by the pound.
Everything's got a price, Travis. But Cade
no,
gets to name it.
So when I first got on at the paper, so I got on at 14, and I think in the spring of 15, we were looking at stuff to put in, content. And a few years back, they had done the restaurant reports, and then couldn't cover it for whatever reason. And so I got into.
There used to be so many fun things. You would list bud bugs every time somebody would get in trouble. You would list
no, I
divorce
still- I
records.
still- I still
Some
do.
of those you just don't do anymore.
Well, I do bed bugs. If bed bugs show up, I'm the bed bug guy. And here's the thing: I have to do.
You're there.
I'm
goes
on the
down.
bed bug beat, and so I have to do the report on it. So I have to do the interview, usually in the place where the bed bugs are. And then I have to write it. So, when you start thinking, right, you get the tingles right now, right, Guffy? You guys can't see because they don't want to put Guffy on film, but he's twitching. He's a little bit of this. So I'm doing the report, and then I have to type it back up. And so again, I'm like, a little, right? And it's all psychosomatic. But then I would kick the story up to the editor. So now she has to read it. And then
And she's like,
this is bad. And then, of course, she's going to tell everybody in the newsroom. It's like, oh, my gosh, you guys got to read it. So by the end of the day, like, everybody's just
having phantom itches.
I'm going to go take a shower.
All right.
Yes.
Now, you used to have an editor, and now you are the editor.
Now I are
So
the
who
editor.
who
yes.
checks you for Scythy Council?
We
Who double checks Travis?
We put different eyes on it. Like Donna Cronk, who is the Neighbors editor. She also creates her magazine on a quarterly basis. Sunday's edition of the Courier Times will have the winter Her magazine in it. So pick those up because those are amazing.
Are you going to bring back his magazine?
We're not going to do his magazine, but Donna includes, I think it's His Story is what she calls it.
Is there? It used to be. There was a reporter that was there for just a short period of time, probably just before you, who did the His magazine.
Was that Craig, maybe?
No, it wasn't Craig Maurer. It was another
Craig.
guy who went to work for.
Craig.
No, it wasn't Craig.
It wasn't Craig.
No,
I know. I was just.
No,
I was
he
just
went to
saying
work for
Craig
the
to see
state.
see how your eyes reacted because the first time you made him face about Craig.
But well, he was the previous education reporter, if I'm not mistaken. He was also a big proponent of the skate park. So he was actually when they got the skate park here.
Seems like a good dude. Why'd you grimace whenever he said his name?
No, I think he got married. He said not Craig.
No, it was not Craig. It was a different guy.
It was not Craig, but then you Craiged like 4 times, and I was trying to figure out what happened.
Watching how your face reacted.
Bill. There was a Bill.
Oh, okay.
You remember Bill?
All right, one last thing
Bill.
about the newspaper I wanted to talk to you about. Whenever we were setting this episode up, you started telling me about all these different things that you didn't want to talk about. You didn't want to give your opinion on certain things.
He's bringing up the things I didn't want to talk about. I apologize.
No, it's not that.
So this list. Now we're going to start from the top, and I want you to explain in detail
Tell me
why
what you
we're
think
not
about
supposed to
wind
talk about
farms.
I noticed you guys have one in your logo.
We do.
Well, it's the
We
Shenandoah
lost-
wind turbine.
We lost some people over that.
Yeah, well,
It's still a touchy subject, okay?
we printed an ag
It's a part
section.
of the county, whether you like it or not.
We printed an ag section banner, and we just said put a picture of farms at the top of that. That was our description.
That's
put a
what I
picture of
said, too.
farms. And we opened it up, and there were 3 wind turbines, and Katie was still there, and she goes, I can't repeat what she said because my kids might
Expletives.
be, and she's like, what? and I was like, what? It's very cool. There's a cow and a pig, and oh my God. and she goes, what? And she called him. She's like, why would you? It's like, what? It's farm.
It's a farm.
And so we went, yeah, this is gonna suck.
You don't know.
We got many a directed phone call. Oh, so it's the Courier. They
Courier's pro-wind
go ahead and make an appoint. And our response was no. If we were going to make a point, we'd make a point. We wouldn't be subtle about it because it's our newspaper. We would write a column that says this is how we feel one way or the other.
Budweiser is going to have a storm this weekend. Budweiser has a windmill in one of their commercials.
They have a
coming
wind
up.
farm.
A wind
whole
farm in their Super Bowl commercial.
Right.
So buckle up, buttercups. It's going to be fun. I am predicting.
Have you guys seen the review on Real King's Facebook page about the wind farm that they're selling?
No.
There's a toy you can buy that's got a wind turbine in it, and it was a huge deal.
I am predicting one of the bars should do it to send a press release to Travis and everybody else, and I hope there's a press conference and we're invited to cover it. But one of the bars in town should take Budweiser off tap over this. I want to see somebody like make a huge scene.
Are you trying to get a fight started?
I want to see what happens. I think that a newspaper can
There's
get
no
a lot
such
of mileage.
thing as bad press.
I think
right?
any local bar that pulls Budweiser over this ad that's coming up this weekend on in the Super Bowl, they can go national. They can make national news and fight it if they pull it and they make it a thing.
I bet they really probably could.
I mean, a turkey
It
went.
was him. It was
me.
being a bull in a china shop.
I throw things. That's what happens.
This is a
I
new
threw
studio,
a pen
man.
across the studio.
Can you guys?
A turkey
real quick,
went international, so I'm pretty sure somebody pulling Budweiser would work.
My 14-year-old is watching. Can you guys say hi to Jocelyn?
Hi,
I'm sorry,
Jocelyn.
how do you
Hi,
pronounce?
Jocelyn.
How do you pronounce Jocelyn's name?
Just like that.
Jocelyn.
Hello, Jocelyn.
Of course,
Don't
Jocelyn.
say it like that, Guppy.
Of course, Jocelyn was named after the.
She's named after the character from Knight's Tale, Princess Jocelyn.
I love that
Planet
movie.
by Shannon
Heath
Sosin.
Ledger.
I thought she was named after Jocelyn Elders, the former.
She was not, but we found out afterwards.
the Clinton administration doctor.
All right. Last thing about the newspaper,
Okay, sorry.
Travis. You ready?
Sorry. Yes, I was just saying.
We have a tremendous audience listening, by the way. Huge ratings for Travis. It's amazing. Nobody expected this.
For the past
I thought we'd get more
decade,
questions.
They've Chromecast me. Hi, Steve and Brittany. Aw, you guys are awesome.
Those are fellow Star
It's
Trek
almost time for a new
RPG
hat,
players.
isn't
yeah. It's
Travis
like,
Weik, the man of many hats.
yeah.
That's true.
You're gonna switch it.
Actually,
switch your hat.
Yeah.
Change over.
What you got this time? Oh, a fedora.
It is not a
That one matches your sweater better.
I'm gonna have to go.
Hey, Travis. Can you,
Triply. See, this doesn't work. I might just go no.
Just go no headphones.
I went
It's
no
okay.
headphones because my ears are swollen and they kind of hurt with the headphones.
because of jujitsu.
yeah.
I
Kinda
didn't
starting
know
to-
if it was jujitsu or for Angela at MVP Barbershop cut your
Well,
ears.
no.
Cut your ears.
They hurt today too when she was cutting my hair. I didn't say anything because I was trying to be nice.
Hey, Travis, we do have some questions for you real quick.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Brantley Spicer wants to know, what kind of camera do you use over at the Courier Times?
Oh, I was like, this isn't my show.
Well, we know that.
Brantley knows what kind of camera we use.
Yeah.
The cameras, actually, like really cheap Nikons. But we found, honestly, that the cell phone has better pixels and more versatility sometimes than the cameras we use. But we do have stringers, freelancers, freelance reporters a lot of times who go out and will take pictures like with really like that's what they do, photographers. So it just depends. If I took the picture, it's probably on my cell phone.
Chris
Just
also
because it's got a really good, I mean, like these are, I don't even know what pixels they are, but iPhones.
anything with 8 to 10
It's like a
megapixels will
12.
be fine.
Yeah, I mean they're
Yeah.
it's really good at
Christopher Bilbrey wants to know how Daryl Radford's doing.
Not well. He had to report from
and-
the county commissioners meeting just from our stuff because he nearly died having a
Well, he
coughing
had a-
fit.
yeah,
he was not feeling well.
that. No, right, but he thankfully you guys had covered the meeting and he was able.
He
to,
said that Daryl once tried to report in Winchester and all hell broke loose.
Hold on. Alyssa is also watching. My youngest daughter. Hi, Alyssa. Quick, if I say hi to Alyssa.
Hello, Alyssa.
And it is like Melissa without the M at the front of it. Some people spell it like Alyssa Milano. That's not what we were going for.
It's Alyssa, right?
Yeah, it is. It's Alyssa like Melissa without the M.
I gotcha.
All right.
But yeah, everybody's what? Man, you guys. Here's the thing. Alyssa's been home for 4 days now, and I'm like, hey, let's watch a movie together. Let's play video games. Let's play board games. Nope. But she'll come out of her room and watch
But
Dad
she'll
on
watch
TV.
Dad on the TV.
You're special.
Interesting.
Not even on cable or anything.
Okay.
So how's Daryl doing?
Daryl's great. Daryl's fantastic.
That,
I mean, like-
is that it? What's he cover? What's he cover specifically?
He covers
Whatever Travis tells him
he
to cover because
covers,
Travis is the boss now.
the county commissioners. That's Daryl. He covers the city, Newcastle city stuff.
I see him there at the council meetings.
Right. He let's see, Knightstown is his beat. He picked that up from Kevin. It's weird because Kevin Green was
He was based in Rushville, so he
was
took
in
the southern
Rushville,
part of
so
the county.
it was really he took the southern part of the county. Daryl's not.
Daryl
Anybody
lives
who
up
goes-
in the northern part of Henry
Anybody who
Township.
goes to the Moreland Free Fair every year, which is amazing, has probably seen the handiwork of Daryl Radford and knows that he's north of 36, that area, northeast.
Let's not dox Daryl.
Well, I'm
Daryl,
not trying
okay?
to dock. Well, but here's the thing: like Daryl's a fixture. People know Daryl Radford.
Yeah.
And so, but he still covers Knightstown graciously, and I appreciate that because he keeps us, keeps the paper there spreading the word of what's going on in Knightstown, especially since, unfortunately, the Banner is gone. They don't have a local hometown newspaper anymore. We have tried to help fill that void and let people know what's going on down there.
So Kirsten Kronk, who's another Patreon member, and one of the perks of being on our Patreon is if you sign up, then your questions on the live stream get answered.
There's a good
And
chance they'll be
she has
you get pushed to the front of the line.
She has a question, which was the last point that I'd been trying to make for the last 10 minutes.
Is this about restaurant reports again?
And it was, how do you think the Courier is faring in the current news climate? So like with the talking heads on both sides trying to be more and more outrageous and trying to fire up their base more so they can get the most clicks on the internet and the most views on YouTube. Are you guys doing well in spite of that? Or are you saying because these guys are being this way, we are going to buckle down and be the least biased as possible?
Oh, well, yeah, we definitely don't want to have bias. I was at a...
We're going to have to ask you to talk right into the microphone, Councilman.
Okay. I was
You can
at
move it
a...
however you want.
He said talk right into it. I
Right,
don't,
you can move it anywhere you'd like to.
but I
you
still
do-
have to talk
you do
into
need
it
to
like
talk
this.
into it, yes.
I asked
it is-
an hour and a half ago
It is
how close I need
It
to
is
get.
helpful to the
You
listening
can even,
audience
like,
if you use the microphone.
Look at this, man.
Yeah, I know, but
I just
You
lounge.
can relax, do whatever you
Right.
like.
So,
But-
no, I've got a
but you
bad
do need
back.
to talk into it.
Lounging is not bueno.
The army did that to you?
Yeah, oh yeah.
How do you
The
sleep?
Army pays me for this every month.
You sleep like that?
I
I don't even know how he sleeps at night being a part of the fake news.
yeah. But the question was, how do we?
Yeah.
how do-
Are you being more biased?
Because you're talking
or
about
less?
bias.
And how are you?
Unless we have put it on the page that very clearly says opinion at the top of it, then it's a news article and it's as factual as we know that it can be. If I put something on the opinion page as a column, then it's an opinion. And it's what I feel.
Why don't we get an opinion page 5 days a week? Why do you shortchange the readers?
Because you
Are there
need
not enough
facts.
opinions?
You need facts. Like those are more important than how I feel
opinions
about
are
something.
like armpits.
Everybody has two.
No, and they all stink.
It depends on if you're using right guard or if you're using speed stick. I mean, you can use Tom's.
Listen,
which
man,
is
if
an
you're a
all-natural.
cattle wrangler like Kate over
Secret.
here, your armpits are
Secret.
going to end
Use
up
secret.
stinking.
Use secret pH balanced for a man or whatever. I don't know. But no. But when it comes to that, when was it Luke Messer who did the Whistle Stop tour came through? It was at Pizza King, and there were some people there who were anti wind farm, and they wanted Luke Messer as their elected representative to just ban.
He
them
was running
statewide.
for the Senate seat in the primary.
And so those individuals, I'm not going to say they didn't follow me out when we left. He was done. We all went out to our cars, and turns out we'd all parked in the same parking lot.
The Pizza
And
King
so-
parking lot.
Yeah, so we'd all walked outside together. And one of the people asked me how I felt about wind farms. And I was like, I don't have I don't have an opinion. I live within the city of Newcastle. A wind farm's they're not going to put a wind farm at 1400 Plaza. Like, it's not going to affect me. And
Aren't they,
and this
though?
person asked me again. They're like, well, yeah, but you have an opinion. I don't, though. Like, it could indirectly affect me the same way a CAFO could indirectly affect me, the same way damming up Big Blue River could indirectly affect me, or whatever. Like, in the sense that it would affect everyone, but I don't have an opinion. And then the other person that was there said, well, he's not going to tell us what his opinion is because. And that's right. I'm not going to tell you what my opinion is. That's also why I unfriended about 250 people when I became the editor of the newspaper. Because
made the
wanted to, well, I didn't realize that because okay,
For now.
we might be making another going through and scrubbing it again.
You might just be texting friends from now on.
Yeah.
No, you did unfriend me, and I added you back because I noticed.
Oh, see. I got called out by somebody, and they're like, "Ha, you unfriended me, ha." And then I sent a friend request. I'm like, "Oh, dude, you actually unfriended me on Facebook." I'm like, "Yeah, I told you that." I didn't know you meant you actually unfriended me on Facebook. I was like, "No, like I scrubbed it." I'm surprised my mom's still on there because she
I made
shares
the cut
some.
though.
I kept a lot of people from the shop. In retrospect, I shouldn't have cut so many people out of fear that I would accidentally share something, because then I really limited my free advertising on Facebook for my game shop.
Yeah, man, I could totally undercut you at any time now.
I don't know what that means.
You got to delete me? Like, anytime you post something, I'll be on it, reporting as Boss Hog of Liberty.
Okay. Hey, feel free to share anything from Saved Games Library and Shop.
I will, man.
At 1426 Broad Street, Suite F. I realized we talked about the shop. I
Suite
didn't say what the name was.
We
It's-
did. Save Games Library.
And shop. It's
So-
the retail part of it's where the money comes from. That all subsidizes the library.
The shop. Do you? Is it like a bicycle shop? Can I take my damaged board game in and you'll repair it?
No, but you can donate your damaged board game to the shop, and then I'll add it
Nice.
to my library.
That
If
was
you
a
wanna
good
buy,
response
Yeah, if
there,
you want to
man.
buy
So,
stuff.
so tell us why you chose downtown Newcastle instead of being out on 3, where all the other businesses are. Why are you in downtown, and why do you want to do something downtown?
Downtown.
Why is that the right
That's
spot?
a fantastic song. When they did that in Short Circuit, they did it. It was Short Circuit 2, actually, where he did the going downtown. Yeah.
Are you intentionally
You have to go-
trying to be part of the revitalization
You have,
of
you have to go
downtown?
downtown, George. It's all downtown.
Yeah. No, I absolutely want to be a part of it. We have. So there's a couple reasons. There's an economic reason. I had rent at a place on State Road 3 is sort of
The opportunity was
I have
there
a-
for
it
this
was-
building.
I have a real quick question.
Okay. I'll wait with. Can we put a pin on this and come back to
Yes.
it? Okay.
A pin. I need to ask this question.
Okay.
If you were running for mayor, would you quit being the editor and a contributor to the Courier Times?
Oh yeah, if I was in public office, I've been asked a couple different times to serve on different boards, different committees. I'd love to be on various things, but I can't because I have to report on them as well.
It's not appropriate.
Right. Our publisher is on the Chamber of Commerce because at the publisher level, it's more a business decision versus reporting and all that. And even
Right.
I think our advertisers are in various things because they're not. It's business side. It's not having to meet the standard of objectivity.
Professionalism.
Yeah.
Travis is looking like the most clean-shaven Amish person I've ever seen in my life over here with this hat on and his new beard
What?
and your spectacles.
This is my new beard.
You are-
I had a beard previous to this. I shaved it. I went through a life change. I had two choices. I needed to take control of something, and I also had to be at work the next morning and didn't want to imbibe on the alcohol, so I took a hot shower and shaved my beard off. Didn't take any pictures. It would have been glorious. I did the Wolverine thing. I looked like Ted Cruz for a little while. I did Amish. Took the mustache off, so it was just Amish. I played with it.
Abe?
No pictures.
Yeah, I tried doing one of these things.
Oh, well, see, I just take it down.
All right.
Just take it down.
So
All
anyway,
right, let's take
back,
the
back,
pins out.
Back to downtown.
Okay, so
Because you opened this, you didn't
Right,
buy
I
this
opened
business.
it.
You
No,
started
no,
this
no.
business. You
Right,
are.
I started the
This started
business.
from scratch.
right, so
You're about 2 years in.
2 years. So the story, when I was a young nerd, went to Jackie's comic book shop on 14th Street, which used to be the Blue Building. Now it's Barnett Co. Right across from the Courier. And I would go to Jackie's, and that's where you'd play Magic the Gathering, and you would get comic books and all. So when I got on at the Courier Times, Jackie's was gone.
Was
And it
Cockroaches there?
Cockroach had also left. Cockroach Comics had gone in after Jackie's. Cockroach was always also gone. So the space was there. And I would look out the window every day at this empty vestige of my youth and go, man, I miss Jackie. I
was
miss
taunting
the comic. Well, no, it wasn't taunting me. It was an opportunity. And I go, man, that would have been cool. So I had to figure out what I wanted. Did I want someplace for people to play games or for people to buy games? Well, I was like, what if you could sell games, but there was also a place to play? Because I didn't know anything about the industry at this point. But I was like, well, it needs a place where people can actually play the games, like a coffee shop sort of seating area, a living room, like Friends,
Gotcha. Yeah.
like this, everybody doing the Last Supper thing, facing one way on a coffee table.
I mean, it's only fun to play a board game if there's a camera present.
Right. Or it's more fun when the camera's not present. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Hitler's.
And there's some things you can't stream on the internet if you want to have any sort of career.
Chris just said Hitler, and I think we're going to get deplatformed if they
They didn't
if
know.
they didn't
It was a really bad-
deplatform if they didn't deplatform
Yeah, what about
if they
the
didn't
baby
take us
Hitler?
off the internet for Jeremiah's transphobic remarks earlier, then Hitler's definitely going to get us.
There's been a
Baby
few
Hitler?
smirks today too. I don't know. We're gonna get in trouble for those.
Yeah, face crimes.
Right. But anyhow, so
I was
it-
just trying to succinctly talk about Travis's plan.
no,
to,
it's fine.
to save America.
Right. Well, when I started developing the idea to have a game shop and understand how it worked, etc. And the opportunity arose for me to get a place down 15th and Broad, which is right downtown.
Right in the heart of
And,
just north of or just south of the Robert Indiana District. Or I
Yes.
guess just west.
It's right there. I think it's
Yeah.
where the
Yeah,
new
well,
it's the gateway.
is going to be. But when I saw that and I saw the potential of everything that was coming, I opened my shop up the summer that they shut down Broad Street. So and
Excellent
I knew
timing, sir.
I knew that was going to happen because I'm with the newspaper and we wrote about it. And so all the folk who were like, I had no idea that they were shutting down, bro. Why didn't nobody tell us? Read the newspaper, please. We wrote about it many times, and sometimes we were the only people at the public meetings. It was us and the engineers who were giving information. I'm sorry you didn't know about it. We wrote about it. So read the papers.
Yeah, but it's $10. I can't
It's
pay
not
that.
$10.
$10 a month. That's just obscene, man. That should be free. It's public
Well,
information.
it's not $10 a month, but it's so the single issues.
Travis has to make a living, you know.
Well, the single issues are you buy them on the newsstand. It's $2 an issue, $3 on Sundays. And a lot of people who balk at that because for a long time it was $1. But the Sunday you're getting the ads and stuff like that.
It pays for itself.
Right.
If you go down to the
But
Piggly
also-
Wiggly and you buy your meat.
If you subscribe, the price is hugely reduced, and it's less than $20 a month to get all those papers. And
Or 10 if you don't have to print it and nobody has to show up at your house.
you're saying $9.99
Yeah.
for the online? Yeah,
Yeah.
for the online.
I paid for a year in advance of physical papers, and I think that was in May of last year. or
Will
so.
they deliver to Spiceland, or do you have to meet them at the church?
No, what I'm saying is that now I have the e-edition as well,
Right.
Because I moved. But I'm
Right.
pretty sure that the people that moved into my house are still getting the paper.
That sounds like something. Call tomorrow. Call.
I don't need
our-
the physical paper. I don't want it anymore.
Well, I
just
appreciate
like
you.
the
I appreciate
e-edition.
you getting that, but I don't want like an auto renewal to kick on.
No,
if you're not
I
getting the
already
paper.
got. I know.
But you can call
our
our customer service rep. Call the front desk for the people who don't know. Our front desk number 575-4619.
You forgot to give the area code. We are an international show.
765.
765-575-4619.
Craig, if you were in
have issues.
Hawaii and getting the Courier Times,
My mom subscribes and she lives in San Antonio. She gets the online edition. She likes reading me. She goes,
Good.
"You in the paper?" And I said, "Mom, I'm in the paper every day." But thank you. Keep subscribing. Auto renewal.
I am the
It's great.
paper.
But to be downtown, we actually downtown merchants just had a meeting last week, I think it was, trying to organize something with Newcastle Main Street. Carrie Barrett is running that, and that nonprofit of really trying to get collaboration going. So I love the idea of that to go back. It's fantastic because you don't just need places to eat downtown. You don't just need places. Things to do. You don't just need places to shop. You need all three of them, and you need a place to park, and it needs to look good, and it needs to be clean.
Exactly.
And all those pieces are coming together. We used to have a casket shop downtown. We a lot of times it was
that was
just-
not the best vibe.
no right, and really, and you're trying.
There was a
They're
time
trying.
when
It
all
was
of the
good.
auto dealers were downtown Newcastle.
Right.
Or where our studio is now, just north of us, were the auto dealers.
Yeah, and
This used to be a carriage shop.
we used to have a
We enjoy the door.
Scrub shop.
we used to have there
There was a scrub
was
shop.
a scrub shop down here.
Yeah. There was also an instrument, like a musical instrument.
There
place.
was, CNA Music, which I think now is 1414 venue. We had a pet shop down here.
Yep, right
we had the
there.
card shop with the building that fell.
I used to buy my baseball cards in there
Yeah.
before Dakota was born.
And but see, we had the cable company was down here. Comcast was down here. MetroNet until recently was down here. So there were a lot of reasons to come down. Maybe during the day, if you're like lawyers, bankers,
Yeah,
title
business.
shop, stuff like that. But the evening is when you want people to come down.
And
you want to be open in
if
the evening.
you if you're a Patreon member, then you get the show notes ahead of time. And I have an article in the show notes from Texas Monthly, and it's a Texas publication, obviously. But they're talking about millennials actually moving into smaller cities and smaller towns and loving the downtown space. And because of that, more business growth has been seen in smaller downtowns. And this is a trend that's been happening across the nation as the economies have been in an upward spike. And it seems to be a trend everywhere, not just Newcastle, but I mean, just look at our northern neighbors in Muncie, Indiana, where they've totally revamped their downtown space as well. And I got to thinking, I'm like, why is that happening? Like our downtown looks better than any time that I remember it looking whenever I was growing up.
Downtowns are important, and having a central downtown business district is important. You see, like McCordsville right now is actually planning their downtown. They don't have one.
Mm-hmm.
So they're, I think, the third fastest growing or second fastest growing community in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And they've hired some group, and they're going to come in and build a downtown for McCordsville. And I know it's happened in a number of places. I think Zionsville maybe just did that as well, one of the northwestern suburbs of Indianapolis.
Westfield is
Westfield.
doing that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
the
happening
thing with-
all over.
downtowns are they're the heart of your community. They are
Yeah. Well, we have the
they are
literal heart of Newcastle.
we had it. They took it down because they're doing 1400 Plaza.
Was there a protest or anything?
No, you're talking about the heart that was made of bicycles?
Yeah.
No, different. Whenever you're whenever you're heading west on 38.
ICAP. When you're
Yeah.
coming east on 38, you're at the top of the hill and you
East,
look.
yeah.
I just
and
don't think we
the
should be moving
Broad Street-
monuments
the Broad
willy
Street
nilly.
lights.
I mean,
yeah,
Yeah.
make
the
they
people
make
that
sort
put
of
that
a
heart there did it for a reason.
That's true.
There should have been
but
some
with-
people consulted.
I should have been consulted.
with downtowns, they create the personality.
Yeah.
Of
I mean,
your
you
town.
hear,
That's what makes
you
it
hear about
Somebody
it all the
somewhere,
time.
Guffey, is laughing and drove their car off the road laughing at
There
that.
is
Yeah, you know.
Everybody else drove right by it.
there's a hamburger alley in every community. Hamburger Alley, of course, being State Road 3, Memorial Drive here in Newcastle, where you got your fast food joints, you've got your malls,
Big box
you've got your
stores
big box stores, and there's nothing wrong with those.
Where you find your
Because-
Applebee's.
Yeah, but there's really
Millennials are killing Applebee's, but they're bringing back downtown.
right, and that's not to say that you can't have some sort of Applebee's downtown or something like that.
Yeah,
But-
like Primo.
but
Great
having-
place to eat.
It's
Potential
Not
sponsor.
as good as Montgomery's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like pick the show, like pick the sponsor, stick with them. You know, Montgomery's today, Primo's next week.
I eat at both of them, man. I live in Spiceland. I got the best of both worlds. I live in Spiceland. My studio's in Newcastle.
I can't honestly. I don't know the last time I went to a chain restaurant in our community. I went to Temptations this week. I've been to Primo recently. In November, we had a big family dinner at Primo. We go to Montgomery's very often. I don't know the last time I went to a chain restaurant in this
Right.
town.
I know there was football on at
Change his
Beat-Ups.
hat again.
we got two different topics.
Where did you get a leather hat?
I've had this
Is that a
before.
part of a different costume?
I
Yeah,
picked
if
this
you
up.
use the microphone, that would be helpful.
I picked this up. Use the mic.
Remember, as I said, you can move it around anywhere you want.
It's not hooked. Can we get some of those Madonna mics that the headlet? the
We
headset?
tried lav mics. I bought
sorry.
some very expensive lav mics.
don't you mean
Doesn't
a
work.
Christina Aguilera mic?
no, but you mentioned
Beyonce
Madonna
mic.
You mentioned
because
Madonna.
you're old.
I'm not that old.
But you brought her up.
He already forgot about it, man.
Started it. You said Madonna earlier, then I said Marilyn Monroe. So I picked up on your Madonna,
You started with
In the
Marilyn.
Patreon show.
I said Cher.
and then you went Madonna,
I
and then I
didn't.
went Marilyn Monroe. Yeah,
Can we play the tape back?
roll the tape back.
We can't roll it back, but it will be up.
It'll be up, and then you'll see that I didn't bring up Madonna
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
after Marilyn.
You started Cher, and then
Yeah.
you went Madonna, and then I went Marilyn Monroe. It's okay. I forgive you.
Maybe you know what?
Uh-huh.
Maybe.
I look for your
I
retraction.
want to see.
in
I want to
tomorrow's paper.
see. I didn't write this in a paper. I'm not going to
I
retract.
apologize.
You have to have
publicly
me come
to
back.
Jeremiah Morrell and all of the people on the Boss Hog Liberty Network.
We could have a Reba McEntire drag. I would be Reba. I will sing Reba's Fancy in drag for $20 a ticket to raise money to help pay for
just $20? We can
Henry
roll the collection
County's
right
Henry
now.
County's debt. If that's how we do it, yeah, man.
Did you say $20?
$20 a ticket? Yeah, to watch me sing Fancy in
drag.
in drag as Reba McEntire.
I'm down.
Yes. Like that's how we pay for all of the needs. We don't have to tax people.
Kade, who are you going to be?
Kade, yeah.
Volunteerism.
Who you down for?
I don't know. I don't know who.
I know I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
I'm putting you on the spot.
Beyonce for sure. You look like a Beyonce.
Queen Bee?
I could pull off.
Can you pull?
You
Are
got
gonna
the
single ladies?
curves. You got those curves, man.
Thank you.
Can you guys?
I'm
can you
so
guys do,
glad that you picked that out.
Can you guys do "Say My Name"? Like, can you do like a Destiny's Child? Say my name. Say my name.
Say my name. Say my name.
We got 5 of us here. We could be Spice Girls.
Obviously, yeah.
Can I?
Kade's going to be the sporty.
Sporty Spice. Yeah, you're fit.
Okay.
You know.
I'm going to be baby.
Baby Spice. Over
Yeah.
there. Baby
Oh my
Spice.
god! How do we
So
get
Mel-
off?
We got
how do-
Mel B.
We were
and
talking
Mel
about
C.
Primo a minute ago.
Hold on. Now we're talking about something.
We need scary.
We're talking about Spice Girl.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Scary Spice, Sporty Spice,
Adele
Ginger
Spice.
Spice. But who's
There's scary.
Beckham. What's her name? Victoria Beckham?
Yeah, that's scary
Yeah.
Spice.
That's not scary. Get out of here. That's Posh Spice. You stop it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Whatever.
Cumin,
That's gonna.
cinnamon.
Victoria Beckham's got to be Dakota.
Yeah, he's
All right,
got.
yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty.
He's got that male model look going.
Thank you guys. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Also, I mean, like if David Beckham showed up right now, I think he'd like beeline.
You think
for Dakota.
David? Do you think David Beckham would like me?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Why not? You got that schmedium thing going on. Schmedium. I did a callback. It was.
That's right.
You
A
do
callback.
callbacks.
Someday you could
Good
be a
job, man.
broadcaster.
That's right.
All right.
Okay, sorry.
So we've
We were
saved
talking
downtown.
Hold on. What were we
We're at the end. We're at the very end, man.
Do you want to talk about killing Applebee's, or are we skipping that?
We did it.
We already did, dude.
Glad you joined the show.
I wanna ask you real quick.
Okay.
In your opinion,
Yes.
this is my one opinion question that I'm going to ask the editor of the newspaper.
Okay.
Do you think that Newcastle, as a city, is on the right track to make their downtown more attractive?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think it would help if they put asphalt sidewalks in instead of those concrete ones?
Hold on a second.
Those are paths, man.
Hold on.
Those are paths.
Hold on. We done with that? Can we? Because we're not
No,
talking about downtown.
I'm done with that.
Well, no,
I'm-
because
I'm
I think
satisfied
we
with
are-
your answer, 'cause
well,
I
it's not
totally
just-
agree.
It's not just because there's more to it than because Newcastle is
So-
in a more.
so Travis has-
but like
Travis
the
has changed
nonprofit
hats
group.
again, and now he can't wear his headphones, so he doesn't know when he's talking into the microphone. So
Yeah, that's true.
He needs to apologize.
No,
to
I
customers
keep
at home.
asking if I need to have my lips touching the thing. You're going, no, just move all around. Look, this is all I
I'll
want.
be your mic guy.
No, I don't need a mic guy. You need my lips to touch the thing. I asked an hour and a half ago, is this where I need to be? And you talk about my posture. No, do my lips need to touch the poof on the microphone?
They don't need to touch. They need to
don't-
be. You
they
can
need to be close,
2 inches
but-
away. 2 fingers.
but it's not
Finger
this.
widths.
Leave.
Yeah, this is not 2 inches.
Leave
room
one
for Jesus.
Leave one tater tot space. Just room for one tater tot.
Tater
Are
tot.
you-
Before I talk,
Lengthwise or
before I
widthwise?
talk into this, I do a little kiss. I go, and then I back up a little bit, and I'm perfect.
Just think about what Chase.
I
would
try
do,
to
and then-
remember
and
that
then you
every
back
time
up
that
a
I
little.
talk.
Do a little kiss.
No, I would have just stayed here the entire time, but you
Now
kept
now
having
you're too loud
problems.
and too close, and Guffey's gonna have to do.
You don't have a
That's what we have a
mic guy.
producer
You
for.
have a sound guy who can turn me down.
He's tweeting.
Oh, you tweet?
Look, he's moving it right now. Somebody get a
tweet?
picture of that. He looks so professional.
He's working very hard.
Proud of you, Chris.
All right,
Hey.
let's start to work into final
Hey.
thoughts because this is probably going to take another hour.
No,
All right,
but
Kade,
anyways,
final
downtown's
thoughts
working-
for this
downtown's
episode.
Hey, Cade, welcome to the show.
Final thoughts for this episode. I didn't prepare anything. I've got a Harley for sale.
Oh, that's right.
$2.
Nice Harley.
Can I set that up? If you're in the market for buying a Harley, I've got a 2012 Road Glide.
Do you want to make it an auction? Because I know you've had some
Can
guys.
I set a reserve?
Well, $2. You
$2.
could.
I'll set a reserve and we can have an auction.
All right.
We'll get Danny and Chase in here. We want them to do a.
The
what's it
Tradio
called?
show?
Tradio
Yeah.
on Saturdays for
Yeah.
the city of
We can
Newcastle
kick it
and
off
surrounding
with
areas.
my motorcycle.
I think that's a good idea.
That'd be perfect.
All right.
As long as Boss Hog gets, I don't know, something reasonable, like
At least
40%,
$5 from Chase.
40% of the profit.
40%.
Yeah.
No, they need.
We'll
you
take
need
10% of that
minus
cost.
$5 from Chase.
$5 from Chase. Yeah.
All right. So
We
if
have
they want to
have
buy
it.
the Koger bike, do they stop by L&K Farms
Just
and make an
shoot
offer?
me a message on
DM
Facebook.
You, find you on the Armed
and,
Farmer on the
you can
Insta.
You can come check it out and give me an offer.
It's nice, and it's
We'll go
for a
from
good
there.
cause.
We'll go
The
from there.
profits go to a good cause, which is paying for Cade's standard of living for his children so that they can have food.
Yeah.
They live on a farm. They have food.
Yeah.
They gotta
actually,
sell it all.
To be completely
make money.
honest, I'm starting an adventure fund.
I've heard this.
And so instead of having material things, I can just go and have experiences that are
I like
awesome.
that.
You know the experience you haven't had yet. It was your
Hunting
bachelor
elk?
party. Your bachelor
You
party.
haven't hunted elk yet?
No, that's my
I
plan.
like your-
That's why I'm selling the Harley.
Your hunting stuff though, like
Yeah.
that's hardcore.
Yeah.
I'm a big
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that.
Now that I'm in relatively decent shape, I can go hunt elk with my bow. That's what my plan
Cade,
is.
you never had a bachelor party either.
Yeah, I'm saying
and
that
we can
probably
also
should-
plan that for this
that
summer.
needs
In
to be the
Alaska?
first
Nashville.
thing we spend out of your
They don't have
money.
elk
Yeah.
in Nashville. Unless
Yeah,
you go
they
to the
do.
Nashville Zoo.
I think there
I don't
are
know.
elk in
Dude,
Tennessee.
There's all kinds of elk
No,
in Tennessee.
but not in Nashville. Not on that side of Tennessee.
Probably pretty close.
I watched Drugs
I will
Incorporated.
check every bar on Broadway for elk with you, and we'll make sure.
Okay.
We'll go first floor, second floor,
All
third
right.
floor. We'll room by room, level by level,
Chris, you
checking
ever
for
had
elk.
a bachelor
Different genres
party?
of music everywhere.
Oh, that sucks.
What about you, Travis?
What's that?
Did you ever have a bachelor party?
No, I got married 8 days after I turned 18. I wasn't legal to drink, and I didn't have any friends. And, and then I got divorced
What's
15
new?
years later. And
So second go around, you're ready for a bachelor party.
You got friends now.
no, right, but I mean, like it doesn't.
We'll
have
take
to be
you
a
to
bachelor party.
Nashville.
Like it just like you just go
Next
out
year.
for a night. Like it doesn't have to.
Travis, bachelor party Nashville 2020.
Probably not.
We'll start to go.
I've got 2 on the paper. I got a business. I got 2 daughters at home.
take
Oh.
a vacation from all of them.
Guffey, we'll keep Guffey
Tell us
behind.
about
us.
No, the snow day yesterday. That was a vacation for me.
Guffey will write the paper for you. Don't you worry.
I'll write the paper. I'll run your business. I watch your kids. I'll watch your house. Heck, well, I don't know what else you need.
Well, I just
Hide
need
your
you
kids,
to
hide
play
your wife.
Dragon Ball Super.
And hide your husbands.
Hide them all. I'll watch them all.
All right.
You guys need to like come and play
All right.
play card games at the.
Cade has a motorcycle for sale. He's
Yes.
starting an adventure fund, and we are going to take him to Nashville this summer. Travis, final thoughts.
People should play more games, and they should read the local newspaper. They should.
Do you have a
subscribe
Facebook page?
for the CourierTimes.com or the Courier Times Facebook? Yeah.
And
What about
Games
your
Library and Shop.
business? Your business?
Yeah. Save Games Library.
Okay. And what is their address so that people can come find you
Well,
and give you patronage?
Oh, at the newspapers, 201 South 14th
No.
Street, Newcastle. Yes.
For
yes.
the same
No,
games,
I want
dude.
people to come to the.
Where people got? You want people to come to the newspaper? They gotta
Yeah.
be 21 because he's smoking there.
No, we don't. We don't smoke in there because of the laws in Henry County.
They just smoke the reefer. That's what I heard.
That's not true.
I heard too.
But anyways,
That's why you're in favor of windmills. You're all a bunch of liberals.
Saved Games Library and
Crunchy
Shop is
granola
1426 Broad Street,
Left-wing
Suite
media.
F.
Libtards.
It's actually Fleming Street is going to be the best entrance to get in, but it's a Broad Street access also.
All right.
Right across from where 1400
The first
Plaza's
2
gonna
hours
be.
are free. You mentioned Boss Hog. The first 3 hours are free. Is that the way it goes?
That's not true at all.
What do they get if they mention ball hog?
High five.
I will.
Firm
I
handshake.
will,
Firm
High-
handshake.
High five.
crisp high five. The crispest high fives. We do a lot of dealings in high fives.
Pretty good deal, people. Not a limp high five. Crisp.
I will re high five you if it's not appropriate.
I'm looking at Travis's wrists right now. They're not limp
They're like tucked under my between the thighs and the
because
chair.
it's 55 degrees in here.
It was 57 when we started. How do we get colder?
I don't know.
I think the heat's off.
Did you guys pay the bill?
I mean, the lights are on.
Hold on. Did the
I,
Patreon people help you pay your Vectron bill? Is it Vectron? Or is it electric
Duke.
heat?
It's electric.
It's all Duke.
I can't feel my toes.
That's
right
dry
now.
heat. Electric is dry heat.
This
You want to be
this
careful with
place is electric resistance heat.
that. Electric
very-
resistance. I don't know.
Very expensive. We keep it at 49 degrees for the week.
Have you guys thought about just doing like each
just
room
above
can have a
freezing.
heater? Like what Samsung or
heaters
something
on the
that's
Amazon
A
wish
split
list.
ductless.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a split
Samsung
unit. Split unit.
Swanson Samsonite. I was way off.
No, yeah, it says
Samsonite.
Samsonite. Yeah, I think Samsonite will keep his place
I
toasty.
installed a ton
That
of
was from
those.
Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Okay.
I put in
Greatest,
a lot of
one
those
of the
at,
greatest
Boar's Head.
movies.
Final
All right,
thoughts
my
from,
final thoughts are, of course, thank you
Dakota.
to our supporters on patreon.com
Patronites.
/Boss Hog of Liberty. We do have stuff on the Amazon wish list, so make sure you head over there. Check out Boss Hog of Liberty on Amazon.com, and you'll see some shielded mic cables. You will also see, I think
need to
that
add-
tonight I will be putting on there an on-air sign so that whenever Chris decides that he's going to go live to Facebook, he can have a button to press and let us know that we're going live and there's no more guesswork. And man, the shielded mic cables are pretty important. So if you could hop on over there, I would really appreciate it. Thank you all for watching. And of course, thank you all for your continued support. Make sure you tell all of your friends, all of your family. I was just talking to Cade today that because his wife added a friend on Facebook and she shared the video of the podcast, we picked up a very, very loyal listener. So everything that we do can only be shared to people who might find us interesting by you, the listener. The biggest thing you can do is rate and review us and tell all your friends.
So from me, my end, Jeremiah over here, the co-host guy. This morning we shared a story from Jason Arp, who is a city councilman, Fort Wayne, Indiana, and he said, "Watch out what laws you ask for because they might come back to bite you." And it
yeah.
is a fascinating read from a city councilman. It was published in, I don't know if it's in a bunch of papers. The
It was
one
the
we
Fort
copied
Wayne
from, it was
Sentinel, I
we picked it up from the Columbus paper, the Republic. And he basically tells the story of a lady in 2017. She and her husband have a small, 2-3 bedroom house, 2-car garage in the suburbs in Fort Wayne. Sidewalk or walking path goes through their front yard. Neighbor dog comes by. Their dog's in their garage. Dogs get together. One dog bites the other one. Vet reports it. and all of a sudden it turns into a citation because a dog got bit and they got served. It turns into a misdemeanor. One thing leads to another. They get a letter in the mail. They talk to the animal control officers. The animal control officers say, "Don't worry about it, no big deal." Then they get a letter in the mail from the sheriff's department. The sheriff's department they go down and they say, "Hey, this says there's a warrant out for my arrest." And they said, "Damn right, there's a warrant for your arrest. Get in jail." And this lady ends up spending the night in jail, and it just goes downhill from there. And he tries to explain this story to the city council in Fort Wayne, and nobody cares. Like it's just a bunch of bureaucracy. Nobody takes any human interest. Nobody tries to solve the problem. They're just like, "Yep, that's the way it is." So the moral of the story is, and what Jason was trying to say in his editorial is, anytime you ask for a law, somebody actually has to enforce it. And the rubber meets the road. So, one of the things we've talked about on the show for a long time is when a council or a county commissioners group or a state legislature passes a law or an ordinance, ultimately guys with guns have to show up and enforce it. So let's be darn sure before we do that. So I wanted to point that out. It's a great story. And anytime somebody says there ought to be a law, I want you to go back and think about that story, because it's all very innocuous. Nobody got hurt. Nothing happened. Neighbors already handled themselves. And yet a Hoosier citizen wound up spending the night in jail over her dog biting somebody else. And they did everything right. So that's that one. Really do appreciate the support for the Patreon people. Like and review us, iTunes, share all the stuff Dakota talked about. Our syndicators are We're Libertarians. Their podcast is now, earlier this week, it cracked the top 40 in the news and government on iTunes.
Nice.
22 today, number 22, and it is featured. So check that one out as well.
Very
If you enjoy us, you enjoy the network, check them out. It's an amazing thing we've built. Our show, the Brian Nichols Show, and We Are Libertarians, the Chris Bengal Show, Wall Daily, just a number of amazing things that are on this network. Very proud to be a part of it. And every week that goes by, I'm just shocked at the growth and the support we get from you guys. It's taken on a life of its own, and I don't know where we're going to be next year, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, but we're on an upward track, and it's phenomenal. Very, very excited about that. And we've got some big things coming. We have some guests already booked. Next week, you are going to have the first appearance of Corey Murphy, the economic development guy, the guru.
Nice.
Top 40. He just won a major award. He's out of town this week. Collecting plaques on the beach.
And they just got back. We tried to book him as soon as he got back from his trip to Japan, but he's a very busy man. So we're just getting him back.
So we will have him next week. The first episode in February, we'll have Corey Murphy. This is episode number 98. Corey will be episode 99. And episode 100, if you're a Patreon member, if you're not a Patreon member yet, you still can be. Jump on patreon.com/BossHogOfLiberty. Open invitation. Come to the studio. Check it out. Episode 100. Any Patreon member, any level, come by. Watch the show. We'll put you in the cheap sheets. And it's going to be Valentine's Day. And I can't think of a better place to spend Valentine's Day than here with us.
Doing this.
It's going to be Guffey.
All I'm going to say is,
on the ones and twos.
If you're single, I will be your date.
It's going to be
single.
It's going to be Sarah Morrell. It's going to be Audrey Davis. It's going to be Dakota.
We can hold hands.
Did we make it a whole episode without cussing?
No.
Fuck.
That's fucking.
Who said it?
Crazy.
There's an 11-year-old and a 14-year-old watching it. I told you guys this.
Chris stole my thunder.
There's an explicit
Chris.
label.
You're the producer.
No.
Don't you guys have a dump button?
I'm taking his mic away.
It's out there live.
All right.
Well,
I'm sorry, children. I
thought that was just a setup for me, Kade.
next time.
No, it's because Chase usually is.
Yeah, I'm just trying to hold it down for Chase over here.
Yeah, Chase is the reason we have to put an E beside our episodes.
I thought we were going to get through it because Chase called in sick on account of the $5 he owes me.
And Chris,
You did start off just attacking transgender.
You blew it, Chris.
I mean,
Well, we thank Montgomery Steakhouse, even though the other side of the room just disappointed all of us, and we're very sad. We'll see if we can make it through episode 99 with Mr. Murphy without dropping the F-bomb. We'll see y'all next week.
Thank you for listening to the Boss Hog of Liberty, which is part of the We Are Libertarians Network. I am Chris Spangle, and I am the founder of this network, and I invite you to listen to all of our shows, which you can find at WeAreLibertarians.com or by searching for these in your podcatcher. The flagship show is the We Are Libertarians podcast, where we apply libertarian principles to current events. The Brian Nichols Show is a conversation amongst Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, Independents, as they talk about what is happening in the news. And we have many other podcasts like The Chris Spangle Show, Upward, The Cost, Raw Audio Politics, Miranda's World, and Tad Talk, which is quite a ride. So check all of these out. Go to WeAreLibertarians.com and you can check out all of our great podcasts. Thanks for listening. Thank you for listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Get our other shows at WeAreLibertarians.com.